All right, it's Advanced Chapter 1 Quiz Review for Lessons 1.1 to 1.4 with Miss Gregory. Don't forget your book. You'll need it. Okay, some things not to forget. You need notebook paper and a pencil or pen or colored pens, mini pens, whatever you wish. You might want a calculator because you are going to be able to use the calculator on your quiz. Again, don't forget the book and enjoy original Willy Wonka man here. All right, please title your paper Chapter 1 Review Video and the date. Just so you know, this is the mid-chapter check on page 44 in your textbook. The directions that are on here are very similar to what's going to be on your quiz. Okay, it says find each unit rate. That's underlined because unit rate means you have the units and the numbers. Then notice I've highlighted in the purple box that it's asking you to round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. Okay, now with these unit rates, you want to set them up. It's the easiest thing to set them up as a fraction, but the fractions must have the units with them. Now you get to use your calculator to divide. You don't have to do the long division. Alright, so here you see the work where 750 yards in 25 minutes. The division has been done and shown for you. Even though you are allowed to use the calculator, you can see that the answer would be 30 yards per minute. Remember, if you're setting it up as a unit rate, the denominator has to be a 1. Okay, the next problem, $420 for 15 tickets. Again, the division is shown, but you can use a calculator. It works out to be $28 per ticket. Okay, again, this is on page 44. You are supposed to be doing all of the problems on this mid-chapter check, and I focused on a few to include with the review for your mid-chapter quiz. Okay, moving on. Pause if you need to get everything down. Again, another page. You see the pencil in the top right corner, which reminds you you need to write the problems. All right. The 3 problems are there, and you can see the first problem worked out where I've rewritten 9 divided by 1/3. Don't forget your KCF, which means to keep it, change it, and flip it. So the answer ends up being 27, boxed in there for you to check. Okay, and you can see the work for the other 2 problems. Again, all 3 of these problems, it is a fraction with a whole number called a complex fraction. So you're setting these up as division. The fraction bar is telling you to divide. So you have, for the second problem in the middle, 1/2 divided by 4. Perform your keep, change, flip. And you've got 1/2 times 1/4, which is 1/8. And for the final problem, you've got 1/6 divided by 1 3/8. Remember, with the mixed number, you need to get mad and change that to 1/6 divided by 11/8. Now you can perform your keep, change, flip. So you've got 1/6 times 8/11. You can see that I've changed color here to show you where I was able to cross simplify. I was able to, with the 6 and the 8, they're both even numbers, so I could at least divide by 2 and simplify the problem down to an answer of 4/33. Okay, moving on. Just a reminder, assume that everything I teach in class will be on the exam. Anything I speak of in the video, assume it could be on your exam. All right, just a little helpful tip. Moving on. So you can see the question. You can see that I've highlighted what's important here with the purple. And then I started working the problem. Okay. It's asking if it's proportional. Goes with lesson 1.4. So you have to figure out if it's proportional, but you have to prove it. You have to be able to tell me, yes, it's proportional, and justify your work. That means prove it. Show me. Okay? Prove to me that, yes, it is proportional, or prove to me that, no, it's not. And in this case, it is proportional, because every time it changes by $10 an hour. So I've shown you several equivalent fractions for that. $10 per 1 hour, $20 per 2 hours, $30 per 3 hours, $40 per 4 hours. All of those could be simplified down to $10 per hour. Okay? Alright, this is a find the error problem, and you need to do just that. The boy says that his laps, the running, is proportional because if you look at the laps, it increases by 2 each time. And while it forms a pattern and increases by 2 each time, moving from the top row down to the bottom row, that is not proportional going all the way across. And here's a little work to prove it. Okay, if you take the two fractions, 2/6 and 4/10, that need to be simplified, and I show you how I simplified them. Take the other two fractions, they're already simplified. So all 4 of the fractions in simplified form, I've highlighted and boxed in red. And you can see that none of those fractions are the same. So when simplified, none of them have the same ratio. So you see my not equal to sign. But that proves that it's not proportional. I can't just say yes or no. I have to be able to justify my work. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Another find the error question. This has to do with the price divided by the quantity, which I mentioned to you guys is easy to remember if you think about the PDQ. Okay? PDQ helps you remember because of the restaurant, and it's price divided by quantity. Another way to think about this, he's wrong because he has them in the wrong order. The money, the price, is always going underneath your little division house. So 10 is the quantity, it's the divisor. You're dividing into $5.49. You can see I had to add a 0 in the long division and bring it down. So with money, even though the division is going out 3 places, with money I've got dollars and I've got cents. So I'm going to round it to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 decimal places. So I underlined the 4. I need to look one number behind, and that 9 tells me to round up. So I'm really paying 55 cents per CD when I buy that entire package. Okay, so you've got to keep the order correct, and you have to make sure if money's involved that you are rounding it to dollars and cents and rounding it to the nearest hundredth. Okay, this next problem is a doozy. And I realized later that I showed all my work before pasting the problem. So give it a second to catch up here. And you'll see all the wonderful steps shown, but go back and let's look at the problem. This was actually a problem I chose from the 1.3 homework that you were assigned to do. This is problem number 5, and you had to do problems 1 through 5 for homework. This is a good one to show and go over before the quiz, because this, as you can see from looking at my work, has 3 conversion factors. It's not just a simple one and done. So again, highlighted is what's important. 3 yards per second are the units that you're starting with. But you have to get all the way over to how many miles per hour. Okay, so once you hit the end being only miles and only hours, you know you're done. But thinking about this, I need to know yards. Now, it was not mentioned in the 2 small charts in your book, but on the reference sheet, it actually does give you the